Stephen A. Smith have decided to respond to Skip's alleged lies. So we're going to take a listen to exactly what Skip had to say about this. Then we're going to listen to Stephen A. Smith.
You can ask my wife about this. He would call me every day and say, can you get me back on the worldwide leader? And I would beat on every door in that building. You can ask them all if I didn't just keep saying, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. He's gifted. He's a force. We got to get him back here. And finally, I think it took 2 years. They, imposed their will on him, because he was too full of himself, I guess, and made him sort of crawl back, if you will. And they let him ease back in on New York radio and writing for New York ESPN.com. On Undisputed, I needed a new partner, and fatefully and fortunately, near the end of my run with Stephen A., there was a week in which Stephen A. had to go do something somewhere. He was always gallivanting all around the country doing whatever he did, being Stephen A. Smith. And we tried Shannon Sharpe, I think for 3 days. And I really liked him in a very different way than I loved Stephen A. But I liked our clique, and it was a whole different dynamic because he's out of your mold. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. So now we had ex-player. We didn't have journalist. We had ex-player journalist.
Okay, so that was Skip Bayless. And now we got Stephen A. Smith. He's on Cam'ron and Mase's podcast. Well, I think this is Cam'ron's podcast, Your Welcome Network. So check it out.
Even though you was on ESPN way before First Take, and you took a hiatus from there, came back, ended up on First Take.
Right.
It was with Skip.
Yep.
Now you're on there with Shannon, who was formerly with Skip on FS1. What is your relationship with Skip Bayless today?
I don't have one.
Okay. Because that's what I was going to ask you, real quick. I actually seen I can't remember exactly what it was, but Skip Bayless was going through something, and I guess, I don't know if it's the Shannon Sharpe or what happened, but I remember you reached out to him, you said on your podcast, he didn't pick up the phone for you, and you was like, I tried. So that's why I was asking, where you guys at today?
There's nothing, I have nothing bad to say. I'm eternally grateful to Skip Bayless, who brought me on First Take, as Shannon has articulated about himself as well. Because you should never forget somebody that gave you that opportunity. You really, really shouldn't.
Right.
And when I say we don't have a relationship, it's not anything negative from my end.
Right.
It's me letting you know, yo, bro, I picked up the phone
on
several occasions and called him.
Right.
He never called me back.
Right.
And so, to me, if you that kind of person, that doesn't make you bad. It just means that we can't vibe, because I'm going to answer a call.
Right.
I'm going to answer a call. I got a lot of people over the last year or two that have really, really pissed me off.
Right.
I'm picking up the phone if they call.
Right.
There's only one person that I won't pick up the phone for. Everybody know who that person is. That no good sorry ass. Everybody knows who that is. I don't have to say his name.
Right.
Outside of that one human being on the planet Earth, you understand, who I think is the human incarnation of the devil.
Right.
Whew. Is he talking about Jason? I think he's talking about Jason Whitlock. I mean, that's some harsh words that he's calling him. Whoa.
Everybody knows. Anybody else calls me, I'm going to pick up the phone.
Right.
And so Skip had his right not to pick up the phone when the whole Shannon thing was going down, and that's fine.
Right.
That's his prerogative.
Right.
But live with that.
Right.
Do what you got to do.
Right.
That's how you felt it was best. That's why I know Skip better than most. And I know that it wasn't malice or malicious intent with him not doing that. He's just a different cat. And he operates, in a different way. I see him operating differently now than he did when he was on TV.
Right, absolutely.
And in terms of, wanting to talk to people more, as opposed to when he see me, I'm always me.
Right.
And so that's not to say, again, anything negative about him, but our relationship goes back too long for me not to get a call from you.
Yeah, exactly.
When I called you.
Exactly.
And so when you made that decision, cool.
Right.
Live with your decision.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. And the clip I just show y'all, that was Stephen A. Smith. He was on Cam'ron's latest podcast. Cam'ron actually interviewed 50 Cent a couple of days ago. And now it was Stephen A. Smith's time. And he was speaking about that he does not have any relationship at all with Skip Bayless. And he said that he refused to pick up the phone. And this is actually a pattern that I've seen with Skip Bayless, because there's a lot of people, for example, Shannon Sharpe, he said the same thing. They all say the same thing, and that is, I appreciate Skip for what he did for me, but at this particular time, I'm not speaking to Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless, he have said in the past that he sort of feels like it's him versus the world. And I actually think that that may be the reason why he's not talking to, the Shannon Sharpes or the Stephen A. Smiths. And I think that he has these fantasies in his head that pretty much the whole world is against him, which is definitely not the case. So make sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.